Guys?
Searching for a place called home. I know that I've been cold as ice. Ignore the dreams too many lies. I found the child I used to be, and I know that it's not too late. Never too late. Always live my life alone. Searching for a place called home. I know that I've been cold as ice. Ignore the dreams too many.
He who wishes to peer into the abyss needs simply to wander through Nod Cry on a misty night.
Are you wet?
Well, your skin is not wet enough, okay? It needs to be hydrated. It needs to be clean. And I've got just the thing for you. Recently, a new device has gained massive popularity in China's beauty influencer circle. And I swear, every time I look at Douyin, someone's always finding another unnecessary method trying to declare war on their skin. But this one, we've never seen before. It's called the water light gun. Judging purely from that name, you would probably think that this is just some harmless little device, right? Maybe it just sprays water. No, it's a needle gun for your face. And people would buy this needle gun off of underground marketplaces, start stamping it on themselves every single day at home, hoping for that glowy skin. And just a few weeks later, people started ending up with these dots and bumps going across their face, sort of like acne. These dots and bumps would start spreading and growing across their entire face, and even later on started darkening. It was uncontrollable to the point where it even spread it down to people's necks. And that's how millions of people started getting stuck with these faces full of dots and bumps. Yeah, so water light injections have recently gone viral on Douyin and all of Chinese social media. It's basically a new, quick, and convenient device that'll give you extremely glowy, hydrated, and dewy looking skin. Basically, the goal is to get that ridiculously smooth glass skin appearance where your face will look like it's shining. This was also supposed to completely fill up your pores and cover everything up so that it looks invisible, which, by the way, is impossible. But sellers started packaging these treatments into water light beauty packages, complete with the water light gun itself, the liquid ingredients to inject into your face, and step-by-step instructions. And there were basically two ways people were getting access to it. The first method was going into these private WeChat groups, buying everything from unknown suppliers, then going back home and injecting it yourself. DIY. The second option would be getting invited into these private hotel rooms where somebody claiming to be a professional water light user would perform the procedure on you. Now, doing it yourself at home was simple and totally safe, okay? What could go wrong? First, people bought the water light injection package from these WeChat vendors. Mind you, all of these were marketed as cheap, and in a pool of discounts, you pick the best deal. But a lot of these products coming from these WeChat vendors, things like the filler ingredients, the syringes themselves, it usually comes from these underground workshops without licenses. Some of these sellers would advertise their products as being imported from South Korea, because obviously, if you put Korean on any of the packaging, it automatically gives it plus 10 credibility points. And once people received their water light injection package, they were ready to begin. First, you cleanse your face, take the device, install the needles, and then you begin stamping it across your entire face. And how much stamping are we talking about? If you want the desired effect, 10,000 needle punctures every single day. 10,000. You're repeatedly creating these tiny punctures across your face so the liquid can enter through all of those openings and be absorbed. Yeah, your skin barrier is screaming for help. And there's another problem. Because the surface of your skin is being left with wounds after these water light injections, the skin can actually become extremely dry because all the moisture is just gone. Which is kind of insane when you realize the whole reason people started doing this is so that their skin becomes more hydrated. So after somebody has finished stamping the needle gun across their entire face, they're supposed to put cream on and let the skin recover. But after a couple weeks gone by, people started noticing something strange. Those stamping marks, yeah, they didn't disappear. At first, the marks might settle down and appear to be improving, but they started coming back. Except now, they started getting bigger and bigger, also spreading across your entire face, and they started darkening as well. And real quick, doom scrolling on Chinese social media all day and traveling, it took me almost a year to find a doctor. I just kept delaying it and I got this really bad eye sore. Like, I needed a doctor, but I had no idea where to turn, so I was just lost. I was just Googling random clinics. This is where today's sponsor, ZocDoc, comes in. ZocDoc is a free website that helps you find and book quality doctors near you. You just go on, search for doctors in your area who take your insurance, read through real patient reviews, see their actual availability, and then you just book it. You can even book a casual video appointment at home. You can also search by specialty or even just by symptoms. Appointments usually happen within 24 to 72 hours, and sometimes you can even score same-day appointments. They've got over 150,000 providers across 200 plus specialties in all 50 states. I chose an eye doctor for my eye sore, filtered by what worked for my schedule, and chose based on the reviews. done in 5 minutes. So if you got an appointment you've been putting off, one click is all it takes. I know it may seem small, but just clicking the link in the description is a huge step towards prioritizing your health. Taking care of your health just got easier. Head to www.zocdoc.com/Wani to get started and check that appointment off your to-do list. Thanks so much to ZocDoc for sponsoring this video. Slowly, those tiny marks started turning into dots, and it kind of looked like acne in a way. Then the dots started spreading more, becoming larger, and some of them even started becoming bumps. Not only that, but it became painful, like sensitive to the touch, accompanied by a burning sensation and uncontrollable itching. And in some cases, the reaction didn't just stay on the face. It started spreading down to your neck. And there's actually a name for what these people were experiencing: granulomas. These granulomas develop a reaction due to the water light gun and the liquids being injected. Those who were experiencing this found out that these questionable ingredients inside the gun actually contained cross-linking agents, meaning it was a mixture of multiple cosmetic fillers all into one potion. Things like hyaluronic acid, collagen, Botox, all mixed into one bottle so that nobody could find out what the original source was. Yeah, just throw whatever you can in there, whip it up like a smoothie. If anything, this is considered a great deal. You get the best of both worlds.
焦虑死我，真的，上火，呼吸都是热的，每天真的顶着张脸，下黄蜡黄的，脸都垮了，真的。休息不好，真的，天天就这个脸，这比皱来肿不就相当于毁容一样？刚做完修复，敷的面膜，是不是感觉整体白了？吓人不？加油！加油！加油！加油！
And in severe cases, the consequences can become much worse than severe bumps. If the mixture contained harsh and sensitive liquids, those bumps can become ulcers, and you can end up with facial paralysis. Also, bacteria introduces another big problem. Since you're creating multiple holes in your face, you can easily end up with an infection or getting a skin disease. Remember, this was marketed as a non-invasive way that avoids plastic surgery. And it becomes more concerning once you know who was teaching these people how to do it. A huge amount of water light injection tutorials were being posted on Douyin and Xiaohongshu by influencers. Most of them also get commission when they invite you to these private WeChat forums to buy the equipment. Like, you go to the comments and somebody's like, drop that WeChat link. They also literally say that if bumps didn't appear after a water light injection, then the procedure was a waste of time. So according to this logic, the bigger the bumps, the better the effect. I mean, some of them were even teaching their fans how to treat skin diseases at home. Yeah, I think we've moved far, far away from skincare at this point. And there was one person who became victim to this at a beauty salon. And the craziest thing is, she was an employee of that salon. Take a look at a 32-year-old woman named Miss Chen who lived in Jiangsu province. Now, she was already working in the beauty industry, so she wasn't somebody unfamiliar with beauty treatments and injections. She was literally a beautician herself. She worked at a place called Young Aesthetic Space, which was a local beauty salon in Taichung. A beauty salon, so they only did hair, nails, that's it. Not qualified to do any injections at all. But while she was working there, she noticed that some of these regular customers were receiving these water light injections behind closed doors. Of course, as an employee, she couldn't say anything or do anything. She just let it happen. But she was curious. So one afternoon at the salon, business was pretty quiet. Randomly, the shop owner went up to Miss Chen and multiple other employees and was like, "Would you guys like to try some water light injections for free?" Now, Miss Chen trusted her boss. She worked in the beauty industry herself, and she's seen many people getting these cosmetic injections done. And she was even more curious to see what the treatment would do because it's this new, upcoming, modern thing. So she agreed. And that day, her boss gave her more than 200 injection stamps on her face. Employee benefits. After receiving the injections, Ms. Chen clocked out of work, went home, and just relaxed. And at approximately 3 a.m. on July 4th, just a couple days after, she woke up and something was seriously wrong. Her face was covered in these severe bumps. All these bumps were developing and growing out of her injection sites. And she was also experiencing uncontrollable itching. She immediately contacted the boss, and he said, "This was simply a normal allergic reaction. Don't worry about it." I have never heard of someone refer to a allergic reaction as normal. Ms. Chen says she was terrified and her face was erupting in these raised bumps, and it also became extremely hot. But she was trusting her boss and just let it be. During this time, she didn't leave her house at all or tell any of her family members because it was too embarrassing. She kept contacting her boss, basically asking him every single day, "What is happening to me?" And every day she got the same answer. It's an allergic reaction. It will eventually improve by itself. Yes, just like when a person has a fever, every time white blood cells fight against foreign substances, they generate heat to eliminate the bad cells. Every time you feel burning or itching, it's your skin activating its own immune system to fight it off. And finally, on July 17th, 2 whole weeks after enduring this reaction with no help whatsoever, she finally traveled to Nanjing to see a doctor. At the hospital, the doctor took a tissue sample from her face and told her that because she waited way too long to get this checked out, those temporary bumps had become granulomas and they were now permanent. She didn't wait and delay treatment because she didn't care what was happening. It was because the person she trusted, her boss, kept reassuring her that everything was fine. So by the time she got this checked out, the treatment window had already passed. And for Ms. Chen, this was devastating because she was 32 years old and her entire career was connected to the beauty industry. Her face literally affects her ability to continue doing her job. After returning home, she called her boss again, and no response. She was ghosted. So she contacted the police and reported her boss to the authorities, saying that they were doing illegal medical practices. So that's when Ms. Chen made all of this public in this interview, and now every time she goes out, she has to wear a mask on her face. Now, there's an absolutely ridiculous amount of uncertainty in this situation, but somehow this still isn't the sketchiest version of the Waterlight business model. At least Ms. Chen knew where the salon was. Remember that second method I mentioned of achieving these Waterlight injections? Yeah. People started getting it privately done in hotel rooms by Waterlight professionals. And a person you've never met before is waiting there with the Waterlight gun, claiming that they're a freelance doctor. And by the time something goes wrong with your face, they're already in a different city. This is what started happening. People who used to work at those sketchy beauty salons who used counterfeit injections start shifting into a more underground model. Instead of staying inside one fixed salon and risking going to prison, they started doing contractor work as these so-called freelance doctors. And by freelance doctor, I mean some random person could literally just rent a hotel room, bring a Waterlight gun with them, and start accepting clients. Very normal. This is what hotels were designed for, guys. These unnamed beauticians would operate out of these hotel rooms temporarily because they constantly changed locations for every new client. The person
爱你们。